flip them on their head. We are live. You know? Aha. There we go. So. Well, I'll just go ahead and start the show, I guess. Fuck it. I have an opinion. In my opinion, why? I find it absolutely abhorrent that anyone would restrict what you have the right to do, say, be, so long as you ain't harming others. You know what I'm saying? I have an opinion that should not be restricted just because it hurts someone's feelings. My opinion states that children should be allowed to be children. Grown ass adults need to fucking get their panties, pulled up, get on their big boy britches and drop the Pampers. It's getting a little kind of pissing me off, we'll say as well. And in my opinion, this coffee ain't got enough alcohol in it. Come on, fucker. I had that one on there tight. Yeah. I'm of the opinion I like whiskey. I'm of the opinion that I should have the right, as anybody should, walk down the street with a pistol on your hip and not have to worry about it. Somebody gonna fucking flip out and call the cops on me because I got a gun. California here's looking at you, assholes. I have the opinion of the opinion that our near neighbors to the north, y'all are getting fucked. Just gonna be fair and clear, just like we all are. our dictators and thief, commanders of grief. They are making our lives impossible. Not just those. See, it's at every level. It's at every fucking level. I put it this way. I'm of the opinion, don't trust anyone. Especially those that are trying to tell you what the fuck to do. That's got some flavor to it now. Spicy. Mm, like cinnamon. Yeah, that's not Crown Royal, by the way. It's Rebel 100. It's just in a Crown Royal bottle. Yeah, I'm of the opinion that we have been lied to repetitively, and that certain things we can prove to be true, Some things we know to be self-evident, but what is more irritating, in my opinion, what is more destructive to our society of its own name? Well, in my opinion, that is when somebody decides they think they can do it better. I'm not saying don't be competitive. I'm saying don't let it consume you. Because I'm of the opinion that when you let something consume your ass, well, ain't much left to compete with. Don't sweat the bullshit. Don't sweat the small shit. Don't sweat the big shit. Take it in stride. And that's how I do my shit. That's how I deal with my day. Yeah, that hurt. I'm gonna have to do it again in a minute. See, some folks they deal with shit that normally wouldn't hurt, but for them it hurts. You know, I guess being an American, you kind of just have a target painted on your back, whether or not you're one of these fucking lefty loonies or following with the right paradigms. Personally, I don't give a flying fuck. They're both two fucking nasty, ugly ass heads of the same fucking dragon, in my opinion. Two wings of the same damn bird. And everybody's fighting for change, but they forget about the fact that some things don't need to change. Some things are just fine as they was. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's things like that. Just tell you what, it make me mad. I almost hit my foot with that. I bullshit you not. I can throw a knife, but I need to be careful about where I was throwing it at. Because if I throw it at my feet, I'm liable to hit myself in the foot. That's a holy damn shit right there. That was a damn it. That's what we call a dang it right there. I'll show you. Here. See my foot right yonder. There's my knife. Yeah. Uh, I can throw a knife really well. I need to be careful about exactly where is I'm throwing them. Son of a bitch. Slippery fuck. Out of my life. Now, as it were, Ranty McFuckface has spoken. And I do need to continue to speak on these things. Because some asshole decided that he has the right to tell me I may or may not. Some asshole decided that he has the right to tell me that I can or cannot. And son, in the South, where I'm from, we call that a challenge. How's your day? So as rants go, this has been quiet, the calm rant. The reason being is most of you fuckers know when I get angry, I kind of start to look more sane. That's a scary fucking thought when somebody actually, the more angry they get, the more sane they look. Make you wonder now, won't it? Of course, I'm not speaking sane things. I'm not running around going, motherfucker, you know. That's the reality of it. If I get pissed off, people start laughing. That just makes me more angry. So I start getting quiet. And I noticed there's a trend in that. Like, it's not just me. I'm of the opinion that there are a lot of pissed off motherfuckers right now. Because I hardly ever see nothing but a smile and an eye twitch, I tell you what. I know that look. I know that just, yeah, I know that look. Like you are doing your damnedest to fucking bite your lips so you don't fucking smack this shit out of someone else. Like, you stupid motherfucker, if I had a sign I could pin on your forehead. Because that is Grant that she's talking to there, House. Just so as you know. He's on his wife's YouTube. Homie got permabanned from YouTube. I don't know how the fuck you do that, Grant, but seriously, dude, that was something. Dodge Power Wagon, yeah. I'm of the opinion that everybody's going to be needing those fun tools, giggle sticks and long range hole punches with the fun switch on the side. And everybody loves Laugh Putty. That's one of my favorites. Just Laugh Putty is one of the awesome ones. What they call that? What that one dude call that? A giggle goop. Uh, Basically, that is your nitroglycerin, I guess you'd say. That giggle goop. It's goo. So, in my opinion, we need to see a lot more brave motherfuckers. That's just the reality of it. People with, a set of cojones, as they'd say down in California. People from California, this shit. Once freaking, you know, meshed with the Mexicans and came up with the word cajones. Meaning the huevos, rancheros, homie. You know what I'm saying? You need to grow a bigger set of huevolitos, homie. uh, I joke, but you know, y'all understand what I'm saying. These crazy motherfuckers want you to go to vaccination passport. They drive your EVs around and die molten in a fire. And yes, you can't smoke outdoors. You can't wear your pistol in public. You can't. At some point in time, I'm gonna start fucking gut stomping motherfuckers because I'm mad. Like something just gonna break. But this should be the same way with everybody here, and I mean everybody out there. You should be mad as a fucking old red hen. You should be mad as a hatter on a fucking Saturday night. I mean, somebody done fucked the pooch, and now we got puppies with no fur. Something wrong here. You see what I'm saying? I mean, did somebody tell me why all the puppies look like Joe Biden? Oh, was that joke too early? Yeah, I don't know how to rant no more. It's that bad. I am so egregiously pissed off that I'm just getting sick to my stomach. I ain't even fucking getting mad. I just feel like I'm a puke. Swear to God, man. If I could get my hands on them sons of bitches, they'd be sweating like a damn whore in a church pew. I'm trying my damnedest not to get on it because y'all understood. These motherfuckers make they make a sane man lose his mind. All right. And while I am a sane man, damn, y'all, damn. Just who the fuck made this a smart idea? Because I don't see no fucking spectacles on yon horned antlered situation here, huh? That motherfucker ran right direct into the headlights. It says what? Call him a damn dinky thinky source. Yeah, it says. Now, these motherfuckers, they own a level of I think they had too much of the booger sugar and lost their minds, melted a hole through their brain or something. Well, why did you do it? Cocaine. You know what I'm saying? Yes, metal. That's right. Warm beer sucks balls. So if any of you are having those experiences that you just want to fucking let the fuck out there, by all means, have feel free to get in the fucking goddamn chat at my Hoosier What's It and let loose. As it were, right now, I'm having me a hot toddy and I'm sitting here, let fly, you know. Because these motherfuckers got me, I'm mad. I'm just mad. My speech has become incoherent, and yet y'all understand what I'm saying. It's like this moment in time where you go from Southern man just making a joke about things to Southern man, you can't understand a fucking word they're saying, but you know every bit of the subject they're talking about. Like it's one of those moments where you're sitting there like, God damn, thank you. He don't have a pistol in his hand. Right? It's that moment, you're sitting there like, everybody, do not piss that man off. He's on one. He's mad. Don't piss that guy off. You do so, it is at your own expense and your own funeral. We ain't getting involved. You're on your own, son. Damn. Don't mess with that man. That's kind of level. I mean, that's where I'm at. That's where it's like a lot of y'all now are at. And as I says, motherfuckers about to fuck around and find out. So yeah, as I'm just sitting here, I'm letting myself loose. Only thing I ain't doing is letting the beast loose here, because fuck, I don't know what I'm doing. I got nothing to fucking rip apart and destroy, so it'd be like, I don't know where to focus that destructive energy. That's why I'm just sitting back like, I ain't starting no shit, I ain't gonna be no shit, but motherfucker, if you step on my dick, I will fucking rip yours off. And just stand the fuck back. It's one of the levels, level of life that you hit when you're just old enough to where all the fucking politics affect you and you can't do nothing about it. Or that level in life where, that point in your life where you've been through so much shit and your affectation on politics, you realize isn't even potent enough to sway. So you're like me, angry with no fucking outlet. About how it works. Shit, I went up to the mountain the other day, going to get firewood and whatnot. Got up there, and I realized that once I got up there, I didn't bring anything to cut wood with. And the fucking road, a tree had fallen across the road. And I was like, well, fuck, man. I just got out some rope and straight up pulled out some fucking brute strength and ripped that fucking log out of the roadway. I've been hurting for a day and a half now, just because I went and I did all that. But if I'd had what I needed to cut it all down, probably would have been less painful. But you know what I'm saying? It just at that point in time, it was like, oh no, motherfucker, you are not staying in my way. I am going to go through you one way or another. If I gotta drive over your ass, I didn't have to, you know, just because you know I got that kind of retard strength, the kind where yes, I can fucking rip myself apart if I'm not careful, and probably did yesterday. Did a little bit of damage to myself. I lifted a couple thousand-pound log onto my shoulder and fucking rolled that motherfucker off the road. So I'm hurting. Matter of fact, there was 1,000-pound piece and there was a fucking 500-pound piece that had split in half. They were both equal length logs. Or no, wait. One was a 500-pound log that got split in half, got broken, split in half, so they're 250-pound logs each. And then I had this other one that was a full size round, and that motherfucker was at least 1,000 pounds and a good 3 feet longer. I don't know how I got that motherfucker moved because I did not use a truck. I didn't use a truck to do it. I didn't use a winch to do it. It was just a shovel and a length of rope about 6, 7 foot long. Literally, that's all that I used to move that fucking log. And we're talking a log, mind you. Just for reference, I went down and I hugged the log. I was able to get my arms around it. That's how big around that fucking log is. Maybe a little bit bigger because I didn't have my full wrist in my hand. All the way around the outside circumference of that log. And about 11 and a half, 12 foot long. Big old motherfucking log. Like I said, I got the other one. I pulled half of it out, 250-pound worth of log. And I was like, I can't fucking lift no more. So I'm done. So coming up here, once I stop hurting, I'm gonna go back up the fucking mountain and go and drag out the rest of the young log. But as it were, that ain't gonna happen today. I'm fucked. And all of this is because normally, mind you, I, the methodology that I personally would use, if I had the money to do so, I would have chainsaw in the truck, a chopping axe in the truck, a chainsaw at home, chopping axe at home. The two different, you know, assemblies here. I'd have one that's a road kit for cutting wood out of the roadway, and then I'd have one that's a freaking at home for cutting up my firewood and fire logs and stuff like that. There'd be two separate fucking chainsaws for that. Two separate axes for that. One is always with me. That way I'm not having to transport back and forth my one cutting axe, you know, and no chainsaw because of the fucking economy we're in, mind you. 5 years ago, I was actually looking at buying a chainsaw, but I was down in the south and you know in the desert, and I was like, "Well, what the fuck do I need a chainsaw for? It's not like I'm gonna be cutting anything substantial." Well, what the fuck, you know? I'm up in Oregon now. I need to have a fucking chainsaw. This is, you know, when you got the opportunities, take them. Just fucking be an asshat about it and just take the opportunity because you know it may not seem like it's important now, but later on down the road is going to make a lot of fucking sense. You know, of things I wish I would have done back when the economy was good enough to do it. Now it's just fucking absolute garbage. I don't know how the fuck you tank the fucking economy so fast, but damn, son. I mean, I could says it has something to do with money laundering and all that. I mean, that's what we saw back in the 70s with organized crime and shit like that, but also with governments. A lot. What's the difference between an organized crime organization, a crime organization and a government? Geolocation. Quite literally, that's the difference between organized crime and a government. Geolocation. Yeah, I don't know how a fucking economy is doing so good. I laughed my ass off. I looked at it, I fucking went and I bought $20 worth of gas. It wasn't even enough to get me up to and from the fucking place where I go to get firewood from, which is a hop, skip, and a jump down off the over side of the other side of the mountaintop. I mean, I could literally walk there. The fuck, you know? It cost me more in gas to do that trip than I was able to put into the tank with $20. That should fucking make your asshole pucker. We're talking 16 miles. 16 miles in a V8 Suburban. Yeah, sure, it's up and down mountaintop, but one kind of evens out the other. So the question remains, how the fuck is this a better economy? Just my opinion. You know, I have an opinion, kind of like Martin Luther had a dream. I have an opinion. And in my opinion, this country is gone to the fucking worms. They, you cannot assume that this country's going to come back from this shit. We're fucked. Even with a good booster in economic restructuring and all that fun shit, there's going to be one major flop in it. Everybody's still going to fucking look to the government. There's your problem. The 9 most dangerous words in the English language. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Which, if you look at it, is actually 9 words. I am. But yeah, think about on it. Like, And then once you're done thinking about on it, make a cohesive plan. Work that plan. Well, that's another one that I kind of want to rant on. Everybody got a plan till they get punched in the mouth. Yes, Eric, I saw you. Shit. My plan involves drinking too much and drunk texting people. Joe. Joe. Jesus. Just so long as it's not classified information. Oh, Lord. Like our loverly dictator in grief did. Like, here, let me just take this classified information and leave it in boxes next to my fucking car with the damn garage door open and just open to the fucking public. Come on in, son. Take a look at my classified documents. Oh, my Lord. Yeah, no, Eric only writes in caps because he can't read the small print, I guess. Something fucks with his eyes or something. So he already writes like that, cuz. He's senile. Yes, that is correct. So, in all reality, he has more of an excuse than you do. Not trying to excuse his behavior, mind. Because his behavior is a reflection of the behavior of those around him that put him into the particular office. You see what I'm saying? If the one man is senile and is known for being senile, and then the other motherfuckers put him into a office of substantial posture, then that particular group of individuals must also therefore be insane. Deductive reasoning, my friend. It's elementary, my dear Watson. Hey, some people make me fucking batshit. And on that level, let's see what I've got. Yeah. Ooh. Maybe not this one. Raggy. Yes, that one. Maui. Wowie. Because why not? Put an eye out with that. Yeah. It's a bitch to get roasted. But once it goes, it goes. Hey, that's all right. Matrix. You could ask my cousin. Every now and then, it's just like, hey, I love you, you little fucker. Sometimes you just need to say it, you know? They're your family or your friends, your brothers in arms. You know, you just gotta say it. Hey, just because your face shit doesn't mean I don't love you, old fucker. The way my daddy used to put it. We have been handed the shit storm of the century. Motherfuckers, find a foxhole. If you ain't got one, dig one. Way as us says it. There's a reason why I like this shit. Concealed position. You know what I mean? When it comes down to being a sharpshooter, so number one thing they train you in is concealment. Because proper concealment, you are far more effective than if you have proper cover. Cover can be cover normally is concealment. Not all concealment is cover, but some concealment can be a better measure than cover. The reason being is that enemy can't see you, they can't shoot you. You've got to be able to sight on your target. If you just fill the freaking mountainside with lead, who knows? You might hit your own guys. Who knows? You might hit some, rando. Doesn't even have anything to do with all that. This is actual, educational theater of warfare. When you're trying to take out a sniper, you send out another sniper, counter sniper operation on them. You don't go and, you know, just fill the whole freaking set of woods with lead, because here's what happens when you do that. One, you can hit some rando, some civilian, something like that. Somebody who does not belong in the conflict. Two, hit your own guys. Friendly fire instance. Three, you can take down your possible food line, your logistics, especially if you're like militia, especially American militia for that matter. American militiamen were trained to go and sustain themselves by hunting, by gathering, and by fishing and doing these other things in order to self-sustain. Because logistics in a conflict, especially in the United States, is really fucking difficult. Logistics in the United States, you take out the freaking highways, man, you're not getting anything in there. That's how that works. You take out all the logistical pathways for goods and whatnot to come in, then that reduces the American military to having to utilize airdrop goods, which means that that's a pinch in the supply chain. When you put that pinch in there, you have to be able to variate for that pinch in logistics, or you won't be able to win the conflict. This is basic 101 shit. Military logistics makes the fucking whole damn thing roll. Well, here's the big deal. As a Minuteman, you have no logistical supply chain. You're trained to supply yourself. Arguably, that makes you a better fighter in the instance, in the interim. It does not mean that you have the same kind of capabilities as, say, like the military does. You can still be a thorn in the side. You could be that one son of a bitch that's a problem. But at the end of the day, the military has the higher firepower than you do. You've got the better logistics. If you do it right, you've got the better logistics. They've got the better firepower, because they have to have their supply chains too. They have to have all that work for them as well. And, there's more of them, of course. But in order to be an appropriate fighting force as a Minuteman, you have to be able to do all your own logistics. You realize how difficult that fucking shit is? I mean, you got to know chemistry. You've got to know geology. You've got to know uh, material sciences. Got to know tradesman skills, and not just one, but a ton of tradesman skills. You've got to know how to. You've got to know all the survivalist skills that the special forces have. All the survivalist skills that they teach you, just basic army training. You got to know all the different shit about different explosives, this, that, and the other. You got to know all this other shit, fucking how to work all this other shit out, how to do this, that, and the other. It's a mile long of training. It's not just okay, well, we go out and we do a couple of weekends and have fun with our friends. That's what we call LARPing. It's live action role playing. You're not actually doing the difficult part of it. The difficult part of it is embracing the suck, living in that situation for a long period of time, and being able to resupply yourself in the instance. It's not easy. It is really fucking hard, actually. I've had people tell me, "Oh, well, yeah, whatever, shit like that." No, listen. If you were fighting your own government, for instance, this is not saying that this is exactly what I'm talking about going and doing. I'm not pushing you to go do that. I'm saying, in a for instance, fighting your own government, you do not have the supply chain of that country. You have to do everything yourself, down to making primers, down to putting the powder in the shells, down to putting the bullet in front of the powder, and annealing the brass every time it comes back to you, knowing all of this other shit, knowing how to fix a freaking firearm that's malfunctioned or broken, knowing how to, make these other compounds in order to make it so that you have effective firepower in the instance. These things are not fucking easy. But knowing how to do it gives you an edge. And it gives you an edge in multiple different situations. If you say you know how to do it, not only can you face up against your own government, for instance, and be mildly effective, but you could also say face off an opposing army, opposing military from a foreign invasion, which is something that the militia, even though it's very unlikely to fucking happen. Oh, woohoo, whatever. Uh, just the oft fucking chance. That's what the militia was built for. That's what they train for. If you were to be up against a foreign fighting force and you do not have the supply chain of the logistics coming from, say, your own military, your own government, trying to supply you while you're in those particular fields of battle, you have to be able to do it for yourself. You have to know primitive weaponry. You have to know chemistry. You have to know all of these other different things in order to be effective in that fighting field, in that particular field of combat. So just saying, well, just we'll go out there with our super duper this, that, and the others, and go and do it. That's why I buy all this fancy shit. Great. You buy all this fancy shit. Do you train with it? Do you fix and repair it yourself? Do you maintain it daily? Are these things something that you can reproduce personally in your own little workshop or your own little walk along, work together, whatever you've got put together? If you can't, then that means you need to take a step back and start working on your logistics before you ever even think about getting into the whole fun fight of it all. Because it's not a fun fight. There's no fun in this fight. Both sides are not walking away from it. One or the other will fall. That's how that fucking works. It ain't fucking pretty. So how do you make yourself a fighting force in a situation like that? Everything that you would have learned in high school if you weren't sitting there fucking around, that's what you need to be learning now. Every last little bit of it. The history, the fucking chemistry, the science, the algebra, all this other shit. You need to be going over it. Learning it all again. And it's going to suck, but it's going to keep you alive. How do you think I've survived all this shit? Literally through knowing my history, having learned chemistry, having learned survival, having learned about human anatomy and all this other fun shit, learning medical, all that other shit. That's what kept me alive. So how in the fuck do you do it? Very simple. Go back to the basics. Learn it all again. And when you're done with that, start back again at the very beginning. Learn it all again. And keep on repeating that action until the time comes when you need to use it. That's what's called training. Training is another word for practice. So, as it were, fuck all the bullshit. Ranty McFuckface has spoken. Y'all motherfuckers need to step up your game. Because while the laws right now might be saving your ass, might be helping you, that doesn't mean it will happen in the future the same way. They are constantly trying to erode your Second Amendment rights. They are constantly trying to erode your right to traverse. This doesn't mean your right to carry cargo. This means your right to traverse. It means you have the right to travel over land. Okay? That's an actual right, by the way. It's a human right. You have the right to travel. You got to remember all of these rights are revocable on the instance that you do another individual harm who is not trying to do you harm in the first place. They call them rights, but really it's privileges because that's how it works. Some folks are relegated to having to work within the parameters of what they have. Some folks are relegated to working within the parameters of what they can have, which is kind of fucked in my opinion, but what can I say? The rest of us, we're in a field of our own. It's not what we can or can't have. It's not what we have or don't have. It's what does that other guy have who's trying to hurt me because I've got enough to care for me. It's a reality. That's the reality of the militia. A few combatants on a battlefield that actually have the, I won't say the ability legal because it's not really legal anymore, but so much the training specific to affect their logistics within the parameters of the battlefield rather than within the parameters of after the battle's over and then, from their own lines. If push comes to shove, militiamen, Minutemen, we're not talking the military in the United States. We're not talking the militaries across the globe. We're talking about the so-called terrorist organizations, the militias. There are militias all around the world. All right. Some of them consider themselves freedom fighters. Some of them consider themselves, uh, you know, militia based in the concerning every citizen must be armed and be ready to be called to military service. And then there are those like in the Americas, especially the United States, but there are others that are militias based in protecting the people themselves. Not necessarily the police force or the FBI or the NSA or any of these other three-letter or special, services or what have you. No, we're talking about individuals who are assigned that particular role and they see to that role throughout their life, especially places like the United States, where we had these kind of militiamen, real Minutemen, as it would be considered to be since the 1700s. People within a community, people of the community, people of the wider confederation of the United States, the wider union, for that matter, whichever way you want to call it, who put their lives on the line because they expect that to be the same for others. They expect others to do the same for them. In that instance, it's going to be a situation where it's tit for tat. You have to protect one to protect the other, sort of thing. That's basically what they're built off of. We all protect our community. There's a lot of people in the United States that decided not to do that. They sign their selective service form. You know, little box that says other. You can write in Minuteman. That's what I did, and that's what to this day. That's why I still hold to that same oath that I took to stand as a Minuteman. The selective service, if they call me to the service for the military, I already have all these skills that I have ready to bring to the service. Then on top of that, because here in America's only militiamen may actively work in a military effort in the United States unless the suspension of posse comitatus is set and martial law is declared. Then only the militias may work in a military. Funny enough, one of the militias in the United States, so called, is the police, sheriff's department. They're both actually militias. They're just not the common militia. They're not the you and me militia. Like your neighborhood watch, your knights of this, that, or the other. Templars, Columbus, this, that, the other. Your Mason Society, uh, your Mason Society Community Protection Organization. Fuck, it is a mouthful to say because it makes my head hurt. Anyways, uh, there's a lot of militial organizations that are not directly tied to government. There's a lot of militial organizations that are directly tied to government. Back to the 1700s, like the Pennsylvania Minutemen, the founders of the American Patriot Army. I mean, think about it. This is a big fucking deal, folks. Yours truly, American Patriot Army, United States Patriot Army. We were the 20s militias or something like that, the teens militias or something like that. Well, it's all founded from the Pennsylvania Minutemen. And they want to say, oh, well, you're anti-American. No, motherfuckers, we're actually, as far as it's concerned, we are literally the militia. But it's, it kind of makes me have a sit, sit and giggle. So the Ivy League motherfuckers, they understand it perfectly. They also understand psychological warfare. This is what I'm commenting on. If you didn't, it's a great question. It's actually a really fucking good question because this is the divide between folks who have the Ivy League, standing up there at the top of government and all that shit, versus us down here who are, some of us are really fucking highly educated, great, and some of us are just, we're what you call educated rednecks. We learned our shit the hard way, but we learned our shit. And then you've got the, dumber ones as well. But in order to dumb things down for the rest of us over here, I'm going to talk about these idiots over here. They know exactly what it says and what it means. As a matter of fact, they know it better than you do. They know it better than I do, and I know it very fucking well what it says. It's in plain fucking English. It's literally in plain English. If you had to break it down more for their legalese terms, it still is plain as fucking day that it cannot be fucking swayed one way or the other. That cannot be done. It's not allowed. Shall not be infringed means it is law that you may not deviate in any particular manner away from this particular avenue that's been set before you. You cannot cross this line. You shall not go over this boundary. This boundary is set. If you go over this boundary, you are done. That's the fucking whole thing there. That's literally what that's where it's outlined in black and white so that if somebody decides to go over that line, they can be ousted from government. That's why that's there. So, they understand it perfectly. What they also understand is if they can psychologically make you think that they don't understand that, then they can't be held responsible for it. You see where it's going at that. They want you to think they don't know. No, they know all the fuck along what it means. They know all the fuck along what it means, and they know that they're crossing that line. The difference is they're playing the fool so that you'll continue to be kind about it. So, that's up to you to how you respond. I'm just saying that's why they're doing it. That's how they are doing it. And they're making you think they don't understand it. Because they are that knowledgeable, y'all. They know all about what it says. They understand it intrinsically. Just as you do. The difference is they want you to think they don't so that they can start eroding away at it. But yeah, my fucking rant on that shit, motherfuckers. I want to just snatch him up and be like, all right, sit your ass on this rail, son. Tie his motherfucking feet together with a fucking hobble pole and then fucking run him out like that. You know that you're done. Your ass is split log. You know what it says. That's these people are that kind of evil. They want you to think that they are completely oblivious to what they're doing. They are not oblivious. They know exactly what they are doing, and they know exactly why they're doing it. The less you have, as far as being able to oppose them, the more they have to be able to control. I already know this is all going to get fucking shadow banned as fuck and all that fun shit. It's going to be like, oh, you conspiracy theorist. Hey, guess what? Don't nobody fucking care. Weirdos. I don't think any of them are oblivious to it. You cannot get into government without passing particular aptitude for it. That particular aptitude is both having a particular politics about you, but also on the flip side of it, you do have to have a certain level of education. That's actually a big fucking deal to go into. Our government here in America. Not only do you have to have certain parameters met, you're an American, you live in this particular state at this particular time for no less than such amount of time, so you have the understanding of the politics of the area that you are representing, and so on and so forth. On top of that, you have to have enough knowledge to be able to dissect laws, to know if they're frivolous and stupid, so that you can appropriately represent people. That's really fucking hard to get into government. You have to have a good education, a really fucking good education. Most of them are Ivy League schools, Ivy League scholars. They are doing it specifically, intentionally. And if you don't see that, then you're not educated enough to actually understand that that's what is going on. They know exactly what the fuck they are doing. And they've been doing it for thousands of years. Play chess with one of these people. I dare you. You will lose a lot. I mean, a lot. Because their minds are built on strategy and educated with law. It's a scary fucking combo. That's a lawyer right there. Lawyers are scary. Like, I'm just gonna say it. Like, guns. For the most part, a lot of the time you're gonna survive. It's gonna fucking hurt like hell, but you're gonna survive. The lawyer, you might not survive that. I'm pretty sure you won't survive that. End up putting a gun in your own mouth and pulling the trigger. Making certain that the gun works. Fucking lawyers. Ugh. Y'all do understand. That's what Harvard and all these other places are. They're law schools where you get law degrees. Harvard, uh, what's that fucking place called? Oh, It's in Southern California. It's not UC Berkeley. It's a different one. Another fucking law school. But it's like the most fucking prestigious law school in all of California. So, and I can never remember the damn name of it. I used to go fishing up next to it though, all the time at the freaking reservoir up there. I got to see a whole bunch of them. And let me tell you something. They're just different. Like, they talk to you and they can tell if you're a lawyer or not immediately. If you have any kind of law experience whatsoever, immediately. Within the first 5 seconds of talking to you, they'll just be sitting there fishing next to you on freaking on the damn reservoir. Freakiest shit I've ever seen. The dude just like looked at me weird and then fucking walked off. I'm like, huh. Come to find out, that dude was a student at the nearby school. Because I was talking about, fishing and specifically certain laws pertaining to fishing. Because I was a fisherman and I was that particular stretch of law. This man had some other ideas here to say. Thought that specific type of farmed fishing, not only was it unsustainable, but it was dangerous to the ecosystem or some shit like that. And at the same time, knew the laws enough to be able to try and talk around them. Made me matter to fuck because I knew those conservancy laws because I was one of the motherfuckers who helped put them in. So people could go and trout fish and go and talk about man. Trout fishing in Southern California is really fucking hard to do because just finding a spot to do it. Mostly bass and this, that, and the other. You don't often see trout fishing on there. But America is known for our trout fishing. I want to say more so than the bass fishing. Specifically because, wild bass are a great game fish and they're fun to catch. When you think about Alaska, what do you think on? Salmon. When you think about Hemingway, what do you think on? Either you've got the Gulf, where you're hand lining for marlin, or you've got the fly fishing. It's fly fishing for trout. You see my point? It's just you realize when you look at our literature versus and that's what other countries see. That they see our literature more than they see say a video where we're sitting here talking, chatting, chutter, and whatnot. They normally see more out of our literature. The same vice versa with ours. You see what I'm saying? Literature is more easily translated. So when it comes down to it, that's why you will see oftentimes that the literature translates more in the perception that another country's tourists might have of yours. And there's a reason why, when Americans immigrate, not immigrated, tourists to go and, like to Japan or something, they're always thinking about the samurai and all this shit. We know that the society has become way more modernized and all that, but the literature that is there, samurai, you got samurai swords, you got all the Edo period Japan and all that in literature, and it's influential here in America.
You see where this comes back into bite you in the ass, and that's all that they have access to, particular. Okay, our country is the same with our literature. We export our literature. What do you think of when you hear the word American? Apple pie, Thanksgiving, Kentucky Long Rifle, the Pennsylvania Minutemen, the Civil War, the South and the North. You hear about the frontiersmen. You hear about the strong individuals who would go and stop at nothing to affect their own lives. That's America. Of course, guns. Of course, guns. I mean, Second Amendment guns. Hey, everybody's got everybody's got their own gun manufacturers, but you only hear about America with their guns, right? Everybody else real about that. But what bothers me is that they think about America and they think about guns, when the reality of it is just the individual behind it. It's you and I. Reality of all of that is man behind the gun that actually dictates what the gun does. Question is, why on God's green earth would you let anybody try to legislate away your ability to have say when you're not the only one with one and everybody has bad days? That was my original argument as a child when my dad went to go and fucking vote against all this shit back in the day. And he told me about it. He's like, yeah, it doesn't matter what I do, my vote's not gonna fucking count. But I'm gonna go and do that anyway. And he voted against it. Didn't count, didn't matter. But he made that effort. Because he saw the stupidity in it. And I'm pointing out to you, assault weapons ban, felons and firearms bans, all this other shit. It's all horseshit. Because everybody has a bad day. At least once in their life. It's fucking guaranteed. You cannot have a life full of sunshines and rainbows. It cannot happen. There is always going to be the other individual out there that has a bad day and you happen to be in the fucking general vicinity. And so your day goes bad. That's how that fucking works. And those who don't realize that, or those who don't fucking understand that, in my opinion, are just intentionally blind. And blatantly so. The thing I learned about blind folks, they bleed too. Did you not know that? Doesn't matter if you're blind or not. You can still bump into shit and get yourself cut up. Try not to. Normally they're more spatially aware, but it still fucking happens. And bullets don't fucking discriminate. So if you walk through life blindly, you might just catch one. You don't know. Because you can hear the bullets whizzing past, but you don't know what the fuck to get behind because you can't see it. This is my point. And we're talking about complete and total lack of sight. No ability to know sight. Spatial awareness all fucking day, but you can't be able to tell what things look like or how far away things are because of sight specifically. might have that spatial awareness where, you know, you can understand sound because you're not sitting there talking. But while you're talking, it's harder to understand spatially what's going on. It's harder to hear past your own voice than you really realize. So if you're both blind and talking, not going to hear it coming. This is where I come back to saying, you know, those who are not going to be seeing it coming will have it come to them all the same. It doesn't matter what you fucking do, how you do it. I'm using analogies here to try and teach at it, but the point is, it remains the same as whether or not you are actively taking part in, you are still subject to. And it's up to you to oppose it. I've opposed it. It kind of fucking bothers me that, you know, I'm. Ain't a way to live, I tell you. Sure as hell ain't a way to fucking live and have an enjoyable life. So, sorry about that. Well, bother, and mind you, you should be bothered because a lot of these people are just fucking assholes. You need to learn how to be the dick. The way my brother says it, you know, you need to learn how to be a dick because dicks fuck assholes, and you know, there you are. You need to learn how to be a dick. That's what he told me. Shit, I thought it was funnier now. He's right. That's all I said about that. He was right. You need to learn how to be a dick. Anyways, this has been another inclusive rant, fucking hour and a half of ranty McFuckface going off their fucking rails, madder than fucking just deciding to calm down. Just still not. But y'all be good and square and have a good time. And I will catch you on the flip side, y'all.